were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. Let's go.
Hi.
Oh, we're doing this.
I guess. No, we're not.
You're doing some serious dancing.
No.
Yes.
No.
Nope. Nope.
Oh my gosh! It's almost working. Crystal.
You can't bend that way.
Crystal, you've got this. You can use your brain.
Use your brain.
Guys, we're a minute into the stream. We cannot be doing this already.
Oh, half of that was the intro. Come on. Okay, hi. It's us, the Chaos Queens. I am the host, even though I said I wasn't the host, and then everybody in our group chat was like, no, Violet, it's actually you.
You did the math.
That was
I was like, nose goes, and they're like, no, guys, it's you.
Sweet.
So, how are we doing on this Thursday?
yeah, thumbs up. Can't really complain, except my frickin' tooth.
That's the worst. It is bullshit. And as someone who also lost a filling a week after they had it put in, I understand, empathize, and dentists should be dealt with in a karmatic manner that I can't say I'm not part of a live studio audience.
I'm so mad about it. Literally, it happened. I got out of bed. I walked to the room. I said, Jacob, you're never going to believe what happened. And I told him about it. And then I instantly called my mom. And I'm like, you're never going to believe what happened. And she laughed at me.
Mean.
Total mean.
Yeah. She said she's like, I have to get a dentist appointment anyway. So I'll see if they can fit you in at the same time. And then you can just come up and visit. I'm like, that fucking works for me.
He's like, woo!
Okay.
Let's get it done.
This is actually very scary because I'm supposed to have like one of my teeth removed and a fake one put in at some point this year once I can get time off from work to do that. And you guys are making me feel like maybe that's not such a good idea.
Why? If it needs to happen?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want it to fall off again and then have to book a trip to Spain to get it put back in.
To be
That
fair,
sounds very inconvenient.
I feel like an entire tooth coming out is not gonna happen. This is because it's the back part of the tooth that chipped, so it's not really like the piece that they put on is kind of just stuck on the back. They can't really like put it between the actual like teeth on the either side like they do with like the top crowns.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm
mine
annoyed that it fell
That's
out, but also
scary.
not super surprised.
yeah. Mine was also a really bad filling repair job. Like the tooth was bad. They did the best they could with the work that they could do. I just don't feel like they did the greatest job. So you might have a better time, love. That's what we're saying.
Hope so.
Violet.
Sorry.
Tooth emoji. It's very funny.
Anyway, I'm talking about teeth. Do you want to say hi?
Oh, okay, sorry. I'll change the banner. My bad. I just thought if we were going to talk about teeth, might as well keep it thematically appropriate. Kelly popped in but can't stay because family time. Michael says hi. Nina says hello, everyone. Cool Gamer says hello. Nina says no productivity for me today. Mental health says no. But I will continue watching D&D shit and maybe even research some D&D shit.
Do it.
I actually also need to do some D&D shit, but not right now.
Are you doing D&D stuff too now?
Yeah, I have a D&D group with Nina, but I need to do my character sheet, which I need to contact my brother to help me set up my character sheet.
What kind of character are you thinking of?
I shall be a rogue.
Yay. Rogues are fun.
Stabby.
Crystal,
My
are you
boyfriend
okay?
told me.
No, I've got freaking hair on the wrong side of my head, and it's tickling my neck. and
How
it's driving me
dare!
nuts.
Wait, Crystal, did you change your hair?
Yes, kind of. Hubby shaved this side down.
I thought something looked different.
Yes. It was getting really, really long, and I was getting upset about it. And hubby was like, okay, do you remember what your hairstylist said? I'm like, I think she said it was a 2, but it may have been a 10. And he's like, okay, we're just going to go for this. It was not
love it.
this. It's supposed to be a little longer, but you know what? I think she's given.
You're
Is
very
in a tunnel.
uncomfortable now, I think.
I'm in a tunnel. Hello.
Oh God, you're back.
Okay.
You came back exactly as you started screaming, so thanks for that.
I planned it like that just to mess with everybody. I'm sure this is very riveting for our audience. It's just really riveting content over here.
They,
Yeah,
Um,
you're doing great.
they come here for chaos.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I mean, we didn't really intro ourselves, but it's just
No.
perhaps Kelly's still here, Michael, Nina, and Cool Gamer, so I think they know the procedure. Actually, my thing just says one person watching, but that could be wrong.
I don't even have it open yet. It's very late.
I don't even have my laptop in the
No,
room.
it says 2. What was I gonna say? What are people working on during the stream?
Reading.
Reading, great, excellent, wonderful.
Privating a video and clicking and clipping some of the details from that video so I can put it into a video so I can possibly release information later.
Yay!
So if you were there for Wednesday's stream, you know
Tuesday.
Tuesday. If you were there for Tuesday's stream, you know things. If you weren't there, well, sucks to be you. I'm gonna go private at net now. What to do?
Well, people can still watch it until you get to it.
Nope,
Hurry
too
up,
late.
people.
It's done.
Uh-huh.
I want to work on beta reading, but I have a driving lesson tomorrow, so I want to go through some driving stuff first. But before I can do that, I don't have any clothes to wear tomorrow, so I need to do some laundry. So that's my
Busy.
I'm so tired. I told my boss today that I feel like I'm barely holding it together this month, and he said he can't tell, so that's good. But I
Okay.
nearly fell asleep on my desk the other day.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I want to give you all the big squishy hugs.
Thank you.
that does not sound great, Marta. I hope that you're taking care of yourself.
I am trying. Thank you.
Snacks and cuddles and comfy things to do without thinking.
Yeah, I just feel like sometimes life just be coming at you fast and hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What? Everything's fine. Did not almost knock my can over.
I suppose we could do a sprint.
You didn't say what you were up to this.
Oh shoot, did I miss myself? That's too bad. I need to plan a whole one shot until Tuesday, and I barely have anything planned yet. Lol.
You got this. I believe in you.
That you'll hyper focus the shit out of that, Nina.
Mm-hmm.
Michael is watching, so we got Nina and Michael. Oh, but now it says we have 3 people watching. I don't know how accurate this little StreamYard counter. Well, you guys can't see
Not.
that.
No.
I
No.
don't think it is either.
No.
Yeah. For all the money StreamYard puts into advertising, like, do you have problems with your live streams?
Oh my god. The amount of StreamYard ads I've gotten lately.
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard.
Like, honey, calm down.
Could you like put like a little bit of that marketing budget like into like
Okay.
yeah. It'd be so nice. Are you listening, StreamYard overlords, wherever you're coming from? I don't know.
Are you there?
Yeah. Are you there, StreamYard? It's me. Ratting Violet. Okay. What button am I supposed to push? Oh, timers. What timer do we want?
Mm-hmm.
Marta, how long is it going to take you to get your laundry set up?
I mean, I'm not gonna run it while we're streaming because it's loud, but I did laundry yesterday, but it's wet, so I just gotta put it through the dryer for a bit. That does not answer the question whatsoever.
Yeah, that did not.
I don't know, like 20 minutes, 25.
I haven't got a 25.
You have a 26?
And you
I
think
have
I'm
a
20
26.
minutes over, basically.
26 is perfect. I've got one of those.
And it's a brilliant timer, might I add. One of my favorites.
What is the button? Is it this button?
Yeah.
We shall do this. Lavender Haze 26-minute timer.
Hmm.
Commencing now.
In the heart of Gaza, where hope is a
That just hopped right into a
Oh boy.
How did we do for the sprint? I didn't mean to laugh. That wasn't funny.
I got to page 288. I don't remember what I started on.
Woo. I privated Tuesday stream and then I unprivated it because watching myself back, I realized if anyone wants to see the chaos that is my energy level, they're all welcome to it. It's like the first, like I said, I think it's the first 20 minutes. But I am making like the clip showed version of just me being all the chaos and might put it somewhere. Like the origin of the idea. Yeah.
Fun.
I sorted out my driving. I sorted out my laundry and my driving video. I'm very tired.
Oh. I ate a cookie and had some water and yeah,
That
sorting
sounds
out my
perfect.
life.
What kind of cookie was it?
Well, I guess it was a biscuit. Yeah, just the regular butter biscuit with dark chocolate underneath.
Ooh, I love those though. They're so good.
Yeah.
I got pizza and donuts at work today.
Oh, that sounds so nice. On a food-related note, Michael wants to know, should I get sushi for dinner?
Yes.
Sure. I'm an enabler. Do it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of sushi, so I would say go for it. Nina says, I'm being kind of productive. I worked on some Instagram post ideas while watching D&D shit. Oh my gosh, I haven't posted on Instagram in like a year. I think my last post was what, Make Chaos Rain? Last year.
Same, I think.
Oops.
Stories count? No, I think I posted a cat reel recently. But yeah.
Yeah, I posted a picture of my cat yesterday because I'm like, I should probably be more active. And then I had a picture of Grub, and I'm like, that works.
Like,
I
here,
think
have
I'm
my cat
over
stuff.
it is I haven't posted on YouTube in 2.5 months.
I post like updates on the Nostalgia Train Instagram, like of the book that we're reading, but that's about like the commitment level I can handle.
Yeah. My commitment level is, hey guys, going live today at this time. Click the link here. Okay, bye.
Hey, that's a good commitment level, Crystal.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
So, Michael says, "K, what's your sushi order, Michael? What's your go-to sushi order? Would love to know." Nina says, "Same. I archived all my posts, and now I'm trying again to make it more aesthetic and get rid of the cringe. We all know this will last for a week max."
I think you should embrace the cringe.
Yeah.
That's true. Love me some cringe.
Do it. Be the most authentic you want to be.
Yeah, but I feel like Nina in general like is very it likes the aesthetics, so
That's fair.
Michael says I am just going to pick from the sets that they have. Yeah. That's
Good old
that's
combo sets.
yeah. I get that. Oh my goodness, we're being graced with Alexi.
Hello.
What is this? And Michael's sending over a meep. I'm sure with love. Michael has not emphasized with love, but I know.
Always okay.
Nina says, I can embrace the cringe. and not the cringe from younger me who thought she is fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair. I know my younger self is a problem, so I understand.
I feel like I'm just as cringy as I was 10 years ago, and you know what? I'm fine with that.
I feel like I'm more cringy now, but like in a good way.
I feel like I'm a different kind of cringe.
Yeah, the cringe has definitely shifted.
Yeah. It's like I'm
Yeah.
not an asshole. Oh.
Did you used to be an asshole?
Oh yeah. I was not a nice teenager / youth.
Oh yeah, my anxiety definitely for a while, used to manifest in fight mode and now it manifests in flight mode.
Yep. I was the angry kid.
Yeah, so at some point I made that transition.
I mean, I'm not sure what's healthier, to be honest.
I think flight. I'm happy with flight. If I'm in a bad situation, bye. I'm just checking out. Sorry.
Yeah. Like, my piece is better than rage. Bye.
Yeah. I don't need to argue with strangers anymore.
Nope.
Wait, the cringe is still present, but I'm now cringe in a cool way. And Robin's here and says, now I'm very cringe, but like unabashed cringe, because my cringe was very abashed.
Is abashed a word?
Yeah, is it? I'm like actually trying to think about it. I'm like, wait.
I've never actually seen it just as abashed. Excuse me while I Google.
I was gonna be like, to Google.
Oh gosh, and Michael's here to put it on Oh My Word. It's gonna be a thing.
Oh dear.
Yeah, embarrassed, disconcerted, or ashamed.
I was the kid wearing a Naruto headband. If you want to talk about cringe.
I mean, that sounds
See,
like the
that
best
would
kind
have
of
been
cringe.
me. I didn't get into Naruto until college, so.
I know I did cringe stuff. I just can't think about it off the top of my head. I think I made it up. It is a word. Wow, go me. I love that arc. I did actually have a discussion topic. I didn't make banners.
Discussion topic.
I know.
Talk about something other than
Who are
teeth.
you?
I know, but I don't even know how to phrase this.
Do it.
It's because I was watching Brandon Sanderson's podcast he does with Dan Wells, and they were talking about the Hugo Awards, which I know there was some controversy with the Hugos this year, but they kind of like were talking about how the Hugos started as a space to give science fiction and fantasy a place in awards, because before, speculative fiction was kind of like, oh, that's not real literature. But over time, it also got kind of highbrow and has kind of, become more of a prestigious literary award, and now also looks down more on some of the commercial stuff as well. And it just made me think about this topic about how awards kind of skew more prestigious and literary. And they also talked about the Oscars in film, how this happens as well, where things that are commercial and mainstream somehow seem to be less worthy of like acclaim and note in that way. It also made me think about like genre. Other things like romance and even like category like YA somehow always seems less than. I just thought this was an interesting topic. Even how Goodreads made romantasy its own category, like it couldn't be in fantasy anymore because it kept winning in the regular fantasy category every year, and people complained. I don't know. I just thought this was like an interesting topic. Does anybody have thoughts on this? I'm sorry, it wasn't really a question. It was just kind of broad.
I have thoughts. They have to make sense, though. Give me a moment.
I have no thoughts, all vibes.
Well, they also talked about like comedies, like how a comedy could never like win in the Oscars, like a comedy film.
I
And I
think
was like,
award shows are rigged.
yeah, and I thought like that's a good point. Like, and like thinking as like a writer, yeah, like the whole commercial literary divide. And I was thinking about that too. Like, but if like readers love a book, who's to say it's bad?
Me.
And I know like the internet was, or like the booktube and book talk were like really divided on like Fourth Wing. Like it seems like half the internet like loved the story and the tropes, and half of it was like the writing is terrible, the world building is terrible. And I was like, like I don't know. I just kind of loved to see the divide on this, but it's like okay, but when you're a commercial success, clearly you've done something right.
I don't know. I've never really like paid attention to that sort of thing. Like now being a bookish content creator and an author myself, I'm paying more attention to like what kind of stuff is popular in both like commercial sense and like award-winning sense, I guess. But like growing up, I never really cared about that sort of thing. Like I would go to the library, if I pulled a book off the shelf, if it had those like awards and stuff, I'd notice it, but that wouldn't be something that like got my attention for it, which I think is true about a lot of kids. But then like I also didn't have the internet all around me being like, these are the 10 books you have to read, whereas like nowadays there's always, I feel like you go to everyone's channel and you see, not everyone obviously, but like you see the same books over and over and over again in a way that you didn't see like even 10, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot more variety to things.
Yeah, I just hate the idea that like the idea of like the Hugo started as a space for then like sci-fi and fantasy books to like, you know, have their own space to be celebrated, and then like got turned into being like, oh no, but only like, you know, literary sci-fi fantasy books.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I never even really knew that or even thought about that. But I was like, oh, I guess when you think about it, but just because like I guess didn't really know that. And so when they mentioned that, I was like, okay, you're right.
I'll be honest. Like, I used to watch like those award shows for movies and stuff like that when I was a kid with my mom because that was the thing she was interested in at the time. But I never put much stock into what other people think about these movies up until more recently because time is money. But I didn't even know what that weird gold symbol was on YA books until the Nostalgia Train book club was a thing. So obviously that didn't mean worth a shit. And the books I was reading when I was in high school was the same as Mars. Like I was like, hey, pretty cover. I'm gonna just pick book up and read it. With the only time I was ever influenced was Twilight, and that's when everyone was influenced, so I'm not alone. Oh, and Harry Potter, I guess. But we don't talk about that. So
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I 100% don't ascribe to that as an agent in training and bookseller. You get so much meaningful content from a commercial book. Or not, like, it doesn't matter. Especially with the invention of upmarket that bridges commercial literary divide. The separate designation doesn't feel that important to me. Yeah, I was thinking about this too, like, especially with the start of the new year and everybody having sort of their best and worst lists and seeing how many people have other people's bests on their worst lists and vice versa. And then seeing one of my favorite books of the year, other booktubers bashing my favorite book. I saw some people do a review or had like a book club discussion about my favorite book. I was like, oh, somebody like doing a book club discussion of one of my favorite books of the year. I'm going to watch it. And they're like, oh, we hated this book. The writing is so bad. The characters, the multi-POV, it's so unnecessary. And I was like, oh, this is like one of my favorite books that I read in 2023. And I read like an embarrassing number of books, like, you know, over 150 books. So it's like,
That's impressive.
no,
I
Yeah,
find it
okay.
embarrassing. So it's like, wow, I read this crazy amount of books, and this is like in my top 3 books of the year, and these booktubers are telling me that this book was so terrible.
Yeah, but that's the thing that just pisses me off about book talk and stuff like that is, you like a thing, you like a thing. It does not matter under any stretch of the imagination what somebody else thinks of it. Full stop.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. So it's just like, it's just weird, like what different people put merit into, different stories. I just thought it was a really interesting, um, just a different, an interesting thing. Like, how can you subjectively judge craft, especially within genres? So, oh my gosh. What book? I'm going to grab it from my shelf after the next sprint.
Yes, please.
I
I
think
think I might know which one it is, and I'm excited to see it.
I think it also has to do with the passage of time. Let 50 years go by, and suddenly a book is likely to be considered literary. Anything is likely to be considered quality.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but I mean, part of my point is, though, that books that are considered like commercial or just fun entertainment, fluffy books, I don't know. I feel like people like don't want to talk about books that are like considered like guilty pleasure reads either. Like even talking about how like romantasy got pushed as its own category. And I was actually thinking about this when I was reading a book that was like labeled romantasy. Is it a hot take to say that I think a lot of books that are labeled romantasy are actually just new adult books, and because new adult doesn't exist,
No,
just
that's a very fair assessment.
they're just being labeled romantasy, and they really should just be new adult, and they're just in the space between adult and YA books. They're they're adult books written in YA writing style. That's what a lot of these romantasy books are.
Or I've heard some talk about that being like some romantasy books are just fantasy books with a romantic subplot.
Yeah, and some are that as well.
Yeah.
Some books that were considered romantasy barely had any romance in them. I was like, what is this? Why are people like trying to like villainize this whole thing and make this like a whole new thing? And
because it's easier to be angry about something than actually find joy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought this was like such a crazy. True, that's so true. Classics are never considered classic when they're contemporary.
I bet somebody thought freaking Of Mice and Men was a fluffy commentary book way back when. I have no idea when. That's just the only classic I can think about in my head.
Yeah, that would also be interesting because I know like so many works that are considered classic. Yeah, also had.
So what we need is a time machine. We can go back, ask them how our classics felt to them, and then we know. Done.
Well, I know when we were doing what's the book we just did for the Nostalgia Train? Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. When I was looking up the Tolkien Lewis relationship, that they were saying that during the time that The Hobbit was published, that people thought Tolkien was kind of a whack job, and they made fun of him for being kind of an eccentric dude. And now everybody's like, he's the, father of fantasy. That's not embarrassing. I did not even read 10% of what you read.
Yeah, I want to say a thing. Okay, you read 150 books in 1 year. I've read 3 tops, and one of them took me half because I'm a slow reader.
Yeah, but reading
like
is
8,
also
which
my
is
toxic
awesome.
trait. It's my toxic trait. I know it is.
I feel like that's another side effect of the like social media presence of like consuming different media now is that there's such a huge focus on numbers, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing, but it's also not necessarily a good thing because someone who reads 5 books in a year shouldn't be considered any less of a reader or anything like that than someone who reads 200 books in a year. Like, people have different lives. They might read different types of books. They read at a slower pace, maybe. Maybe they do 10 other hobbies, whereas a person who reads 200 books a year, like for me personally, I read a lot in a year. That's because reading is one of my very few hobbies, and I also do it while doing other things. So, like, I'm able to hit numbers like that, not because I'm, like, a better reader than anyone else, but just because that's how it plays out in my life, and that doesn't mean other people aren't as readery as me. I don't know. Like, it's just something...
I agree 100%, Mars. I read so much because I do not own a TV. I don't watch TV.
I also don't have a TV
either, and I still don't read.
Yes.
Okay, but Marta, you do so much art. You
I know that was
a full-time job. You do so much.
You have no life.
I would 100% agree, because that's like also what I've always said about writing. Like, you've like written a poem once, you're a writer. Like, you read sometimes, you're a reader. You know,
people place so much merit in this sort of thing where, like, I see where it's coming from because people do like to quantify things, but at the same time, like, it shouldn't be a status symbol how much you read in a year, which it really has become that sort of thing on the internet nowadays.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Dang.
That's why I like hide my mouth when I say, because for me, I find that like embarrassing, or people would think like, oh, you're bragging. But it's like, when you look at the stats, the numbers, why I read so much is like, I read like, how many Goosebump books did I read? How many Series of Unfortunate Events? Like these tiny little middle grade books, plus alien smut. Like, and then all of a sudden, that's, 30 of the books.
But at the same time, that is kind of like your commentary about like why certain types of books are considered better than others. Like, why should someone who reads children's books and alien smut, why should those books be embarrassing compared to someone who reads like high fantasy or whatever, or someone who only reads classics? Like, it's all books. People enjoy them no matter what. Like, people just have different tastes.
Yeah. I have an entire bottom shelf of paranormal romancy smutty books because at one point in time I was into that. It was just there.
Crystal lore unlocked.
I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, I'm slightly weirded out by it, but I'm not ashamed by it.
Yeah, I understood that the misogyny comment was about the romantasy thing. I didn't lose the context out there. War and Peace took me 8 months. I had said that I was never going to read War and Peace, and then I keep seeing people talking about War and Peace, and then I'm like, damn, should I maybe read it one day?
No way in hell.
I actually bought a copy of One Piece forever ago, but I bought it in a bookshop in Germany, and it was like half price, and I didn't know why, and then I tried to read it, and it was like in the old German before they changed the spelling.
Oof.
I bought this book 15 years ago, so like it was more of a recent thing back then. But I thought like if I read this, I'm gonna get so confused with spelling and then like fail my German test, so I can read it, and it's not myself.
I feel like that's fair.
That's crazy. Reading into toxic productivity. Ugh.
Yep.
Alien smut is my favorite genre.
I'm so excited to try out Ice Planet Barbarians later this month.
Oh gosh, the first book is not great because a lot of it takes place on a spaceship and not on the ice planet, so that part kind of sucks.
The second one is the one where you really get into it, but
yeah,
I'm going to be trying that. My friend recommended me Frumpy Sunshine, like contemporary romance, and I've got serial killer romance on the docket for the month, so we're trying some things here.
Oh wow!
I'm excited to watch your wrap up for the month.
What was that?
I'm excited to watch your wrap up this month.
Oh, you're getting a vlog.
Ooh.
I'm not putting myself through this and not documenting the process.
Yay! I have one book. It's probably going to take me 3 months.
Got this, Crystal.
Violet said, "Okay, that's enough chatting. We're gonna sprint now."
Well, I feel bad. We were chatting a really long time. Well, to be fair, if anybody came here for productivity, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Lexi says, "Yeah, I'm always reluctant to recommend Ice Planet Barbarians because I feel the beginning can be triggering." Yeah, that's true. But otherwise, it's so fun. Lexi, are you like a big Ice Planet Barbarians fan? Because if anybody is like on board for the whole series, I'm like so interested to talk to them. Because like if anybody's so deep into the series as I am, I'm like, oh my god, they're my people. Sprints just chat. Post it on Instagram. Cast your votes. When will I stop again?
Stop what? Posting on Instagram?
I don't know.
I'm confused.
Really? Really, bestie? Okay.
Slide into those DMs.
Oh, you haven't read them all, but I'm on my way. Okay, hit me when you've read them all because I've read all of them plus Ice Home plus the new.
I was gonna ask him, like, have you read like the spin-off series and like the short stories and stuff? Because I saw the reading order on the wiki page and it is long.
I haven't read all of the short stories, but I've read all of the main series plus all of Ice Home, and I've started the new Clone series, which only has 2 books out, and I'm eagerly awaiting the next one. But I haven't read all the short stories yet. Anyways, let's start the sprint.
Oh man, I was jamming.
Hi. How did you do?
Oh, let's see what page I got to this time. 324, and I'm really getting into it. The first half was like, okay, but now so much is happening, and I'm like, I gotta keep reading.
Mood. I finished clipping together making the thing smaller of all the different things I said about the upcoming idea. And now I just have to decide what I'm going to do with it. So right now it's just sitting in my to be edited folder. And then I had a snack, which I just had some chips and I dipped them in some old burrito sauce because I love my burrito sauce. It's tasty.
Hmm.
And then I was watching YouTube. Yeah.
I looked at my driving video, decided I could not be bothered, and then started beat reading.
Nice.
Well,
Also, the
Well-
book is getting so good, and I'm like 90% sure that something's bad's about to happen.
oh
I'm
no.
scared. And I have a theory about the end, and I want to know if I'm right, but I also don't want to know if I'm right because I want to read it.
Mm-hmm. Did you write the theory down?
Yes.
Okay.
And the exact line that gave it away, if it is correct.
Okay, good.
Theorizing is so much fun.
That's fun?
Agreed.
Theorizing.
Yes, it is.
My gosh, look, Michael wrote words, which I think is funny because Michael said boo to the sprint, which I thought was mildly homophobic. Um, what am I doing? Clicking all the buttons. How do I get back to the comments? Oh, yeah, I did a variety of small tasks. I did get slightly sidetracked because Mar said, oh my god, love the Insta post. So then I had to go over to Instagram to check out the post.
Tracks.
Which was, yeah, obviously, when I saw this, I obviously had to go check it out. And then I did get a little bit distracted by that. So, we were having a conversation before this started, and I kind of forgot already what it was.
We were talking about how many books we read in a year and toxic reading productivity.
Oh, yeah, toxic reading. Yeah, that's not good. Don't do that.
Find your joy, enjoy the joy. Yeah.
Yeah, enjoy the joy. Just read how much you want to read. I don't set goals for my reading. Do you guys?
No.
I set one goal, and that was for this week. And that was the only goal I've ever I've really set for reading, because I was a girl on a mission and I did it. So, yeah.
Like, I have like challenges. Like Mars has the Somber Honey challenge, and there's the Buzzwordathon. So I have like challenges, but like those are like extra things just to like participate in. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, my only goals are to do challenges and book clubs because I just think they're fun. I don't have a goal like read X number of books or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't do either.
I had killed the TBR that I've had since September by the end of Tuesday, and I did.
I did in my bullet journal this year put in a book bingo, so I guess that's kind of like a goal, like, to hit the bingo. But I don't need to get a blackout bingo, but it'd be cool to get a bingo.
Yeah.
But, I mean, maybe I'm going to be a completionist and want to get a blackout. I guess you could call that a goal. But the thing is, I kind of put it as achievable things based off my reading habits the last 3 years of statistically this is what I'm going to do anyways. Like, so it's not like really a challenge. It's kind of like, just fun things to color in my bullet journal.
Yeah.
I generally just know that I can read about one book per month, so if there's like a nostalgia faint book that I particularly want to read, then I know that's the book of the month, and that month I make time for that. But like, there's no goal of like I have to read one book per month. That's just sort of how I plan around things.
This month we're reading Cinder, which I already read it.
I have not. I will hopefully be more active with that once my life calms down.
Yeah, that's fair. You got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read the audiobook because I always read audiobooks.
See, I was gonna listen to the audiobooks while I was reading physically because I have the whole set now. My mother got me the ones that I was missing for Christmas. But Scribd / Everand, whatever it's called now, only has the first two. And I don't want to read the first two with the audiobooks and then read the other two without them.
Yeah,
So I just won't do the audiobooks. And also, Spotify only has the first two. So.
Sounds like you don't get to listen to the audiobook.
No, and I'm real sad about it.
Oh, this is actually, I was thinking about this. So kind of like going off of this idea about like awards having prestige, do you guys ever feel like in real life, people also who you talk about when you say you're a writer have like preconceived notions of like what you write? Because like I'll talk about being a writer and then be like, oh no, I write fantasy. I write YA fantasy. Like... And then people like when you say, oh, like I'm a writer, and then they have an idea of what I write, and then you have to like, oh no, that's not the kind of stuff that I write. Like, does this ever happen to you guys where you have to like, where they like mark you as a different type of writer?
I mean, I straight up don't tell people that I'm a writer, so that's
Really? They never find out? You know how people in my real life found out I was a writer? I had my NaNoWriMo word tracker out when people came over, and that's how they found out.
See, I just don't talk to people.
Yeah, I don't have many friends, and I don't talk about myself.
But I
at work
thought
much.
people knew about your channel in real life, Marta.
Yeah, some people did find out about my channel at work, which is weird. And there's a small subset of people that know that I write, but they also know that I don't like talking about it, so they don't ask.
Okay, fair enough.
Also, I feel like people in general just don't ask about me at work.
It's true. But you're also very private about your book and what's it about.
There's only one person at work that I've actually talked to about my book in more detail. And he also has like a YouTube channel, but it's like a music one. So like, I feel more comfortable talking about it to him because I've seen his drawings, because he also does art, and I've seen like listened to his music. So like, it's okay. But like, normal people, like, hell no, stay away.
Mood. Yeah, I've talked about it before. I said I'm a writer, and I get either it's like the, oh, what do you write? So it's like, and so that just, and then I answer with like, yeah, I write about vampires and magic and stuff. And then it's either I get the more negative aspects of the conversation, where it's not so much a surprise that it's like, oh, I thought you would write something more like this. It's more like that tracks and you're wrong.
Oh.
I get a lot of, you write what you knows, and you don't know about this stuff because it's not real. You should write about real things.
I hate that argument.
Right? Then I also get how that's not good stuff to write about to begin with because it's evil.
Oh yeah, I forgot you come from that kind of background.
And then I get the writing is a waste of time, and I should get a real hobby or a real profession, and should stop wasting time on trivial matters.
How is a hobby a waste of time?
Yeah, but it's actually like a super cool hobby, like, and it's an intellectual hobby.
See, I get the other kind of like talking down about writing. My dad will like every now and then they'll be like, "So, did you write the next great American novel yet?" Like, stop that. I know you're just being condescending.
I told you guys about the Easter planning we did, right? We were planning for Make Chaos Rain. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting together with my writing group, so I can't come over for Easter. Toxic family, I'm sorry. And it's like, what do you write about for Easter? Do you write about bunnies? Like, I come from a very toxic, everybody needs to be working a 9 to 5 or you're a useless human waste of space background.
Oh my.
People suck sometimes. And by people, I mean your family. No.
Religion and politics are the only things that matter, apparently. They don't even watch cool TV. They watch reality shows. And the best my mom goes is Criminal Minds, which is fine sometimes. But I don't come from a fun... I have a couple people that I do have in my support group who are pretty much as open as everybody else is to the, like, our PR circles and stuff. But 99% of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I just find so much of like, because like I feel like, well, because because now I'm a flight person, like I said, so I would just run away from conflict. But if I was going to try to argue with, some of these counterpoints, I have them, because like for Crystal's case, people saying like, oh, vampires, that's all made up and stuff, like, and just even fantasy and stuff in general, I feel like, of course, these are legitimate genres because fantasy and vampirism and evil and devils, this is all allegory. This is very literary, this is very literary themes, and you have all this theming and things going on. Of course, this has merit. That has a lot of merit, these themes of good and evil, and how does that not have merit in literature?
Yeah, I literally took an entire class in college about monsters, and we spent like 3 weeks talking about the role of vampires in classic literature.
Exactly.
Fucking fascinating shit.
Yeah, it's such a evergreen topic. It's how could you not understand that? It seems very basic. And then when I would think of my own criticism that I would bring up, like, okay, oh, I only write YA. Well, YA coming of age, how classic is coming of age, coming into adulthood? That's also this evergreen topic. Teenagers becoming an adult. Yeah, okay, it's about kids and I'm writing towards a younger audience, but you're writing for, lessons for kids. That's important as well. Like, and I take that serious. Yeah, I take that seriously in my writing. I don't just think, oh, I'm writing for kids, so I don't have to be important. No, it's important. So, and we know that, of course. We're preaching to the choir over here, but
yeah.
And the same thing, and it kind of all is very coming around to the idea of people not taking different genres and age groups seriously, and only literary upmarket, like Lexi said, upmarket stuff getting taken seriously for awards or even in certain circles.
I feel like people who don't appreciate the arts, like those people who are like, oh, you're a writer or you're a musician or like any of that, they shouldn't be allowed to partake in art. Like, okay, don't ever read a book or listen to a song or watch a movie ever again and see how fun life is for you.
Yeah.
This shit is important.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like some people are going to want to go to, a classic art museum and some are going to want to go to a modern art museum. One is really not, it's just some people like apples and some like oranges.
Which fruit is top tier?
Apples.
But it's like they're both fruit, and it's like, what can you say? Also, we have a...
It's so like sinking into it, and I'm like, no, I look so tiny in the frame right now. Yes, it's very cozy.
I love that for you. Slightly jealous for you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yawn.
It's okay. I've been yawning all stream. You can have one.
I mean, we definitely don't have time for another sprint. We
Yeah.
would have if we didn't talk
Or
so
we
much,
could do
but
a 7-minute one.
Pull the plug.
just yeah.
no, we can actually just keep talking. That is actually such a good point, Mars. People talk down to writers, but would never want to give up books and movies and such. Like they don't grow on trees.
Yeah, they just don't spread out of freaking nowhere. There was a writer who was like, this would make a great idea for this. We should do the thing.
Yeah, how many people do you hear complain like, "Oh, it's only like remakes and sequels."
Probably the same freaking people who don't know what an original idea is.
The same people who say, "What are you going to write about on Easter bunnies?"
I am permanently salty for that too. It's fun.
Yeah, because somebody has to come up with the ideas for new things.
I mean, going back to the bunnies, just because I thought of it, but I mean, there's literally an entire children's book series about a vampire bunny.
It's true.
Oh, Bunnicula, I have it.
Yeah, like even writing about these things that people are like, that's what you're gonna write about, even as a joke. Like, yeah, people write about that sort of thing. What of it?
Yeah.
I'm taking you with me.
Uh-oh. We're
Oh,
traveling.
adventure. Violet will not give us an apartment tour.
No, I will not.
Aw.
Ay.
It'd be so funny though if you did write a vampire bunny book and it actually became successful, and then your parents would have to, deal with
I
it.
mean, I have this tendency to put different kinds of vampires in my stories, not just the classics. So, like, a vampire bunny isn't exactly a stretch.
First of all, I have Bunnicula.
I
that's
loved
a real
Bunnicula
thing?
growing up.
Yeah, Bunnicula is a real book.
Yeah, he sucks the juice out of like fruits and vegetables instead of drinking blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Bunnicula is basically discount R.L. Stein.
Yeah.
It's like got the same kind of vibe.
And look, you can see on the back, like it's a series.
Yeah. I read the second to the last near the barcode. That was the one that I read.
Yeah. So Bunnicula is, and because I did say to Lexi that I would show her the book that I was talking about, it's God Killer.
You've heard bad things about that book?
Yes, I heard people tear it apart. And it was one of my favorite books of the year, my second favorite. My first favorite book that I read last year.
Oh, I want to read Babel so bad, but I want to get a physical copy, and I don't have the money.
So these were my two favorite books of 2023. If anybody was wondering, Violet's top picks of the year, here they are. So, yeah.
I love books so much, guys.
Yeah.
Bunnicula didn't make the cut. I did also read Bunnicula. Did not make the top 10.
That's fair. It's a strange little book.
I do want to gift it to one of my friend's kids, though. I think he would enjoy it.
Godzilla has such a pretty cover. I'm gonna write that one down to read.
Oh, I don't know if you saw this comment,
Yeah.
Crystal.
I do. I mean, it's mostly like almost all the way shaved, just back to here. But yeah, I had Shannon reshave the side of my head.
Looks hella fresh.
It's cold.
Yeah. When I shaved my head, I made the mistake of doing it at the start of fall. And so I didn't have hair for the entire cold season, and I'm like, this was a mistake.
Oh yeah, no. Once we're off camera, this hood is going up, and I'm living my best frump life. So,
Excuse me.
I was wearing my leather jacket yesterday, and there was a couple of times, actually both yesterday and the day before, where I'm like, I want to put it up. I want to put the hood up. So fucking cold.
Yeah. She says, interesting. I definitely seen God Killer, but haven't heard anything about it. Looks really cool though. Yeah, I actually didn't pick it up for a long time because I don't know. I wasn't interested, but I really liked it. So
I've seen it on a lot of TBRs, but not a lot of wrap-ups. So I know of a lot of people who own it, but they haven't read it yet. I think you're the only person I know who's actually read it.
But I think it's like one of those things, different flavors for different people. And I was reading and I was like, this is an ideal fantasy book for me. It has all the tropes and elements that I like. So,
yeah.
And some people are like, oh, the pacing is slow. I don't like some of the POV choices they made. I'm like, well, I do. So
I'm gonna have somebody who doesn't like something. I can imagine. I'll probably be. If I ever publish Project Incarnate, it's probably going to be on that list. Either you like it or you really don't.
Could be my number one book of whatever year it comes out. I gotta say, the worst part about being in a writing community is that you all have such good stories and I can't have them yet. Like, give them to me.
Oh, I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I could toss you the latest draft.
If it makes you feel any better, I can continue to withhold the sequel from you for another year.
It does not make me feel better, Marta.
I'm trying. I can't work on my book. I'm too busy reviewing yours.
I'm not even going to pretend like I'm actively drafting anything right now.
I'm trying.
No, me neither. I'm beta reading because it's easy and it makes me feel like I'm doing something. Also because it's very good, but
Yeah, I also just don't understand. Well, I mean, I do understand, like, people, like, tearing apart, like, writing style. Because, like, we always have writing style as a theme in Nostalgia Train, but, like, every time people disagree on it. Like, it's such a...
Mm-hmm. I'll admit, I do like complaining about things I don't like in books, but I would never, like, judge people for liking those books. Like, y'all know I hate the Atlas Six, and I think it's one of the worst books I've ever read. But, like, that's because of my preferences. Other people enjoy that kind of thing, and good on them. I'm so glad there are people out there who enjoy that book, because I'm sure a lot of time and effort went into creating that, so I'm glad people enjoy it. I don't, and that's fine.
Okay, but
No,
not
I
to
get
call
that.
you out on Maine, but you sound very different right now than when you were talking about Pure Nestle.
To be fair, I didn't finish reading that one, so...
I am joking, it's fine. I know what you mean.
It's kind of like I heard that I was scrolling through TikTok, and there was someone talking about how is critiquing the content, not judging the person. Is having those comments where it's like, no, I am saying the absolute ugliness of that dress creation is ugly. I am not saying the person wearing the dress is ugly. I'm saying the thing is gross. I'm saying the movie is gross. It's like, yeah, you're talking about the thing, not the person. I hate things. I don't hate people. Unless they're evil people, then they get hated.
Yeah, I have, like, this makes me think of something, but I definitely don't have time in the last couple minutes of the stream to get into it, and I don't want to go over.
No.
No, it was just the idea of, like, when can you tell an author's thoughts leaking into the story versus, like, if they're, like, just making a character bad, like, for theme reasons. In, like, examples of different stories. And I'm like, I just find that also an interesting topic.
That sounds like a video.
Yeah, because
make a YouTube video about it.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, characters make bad decisions, and sometimes authors get blamed for that. Even if the character has a character arc.
And then you don't have characters that have character arcs that are literally just the author's excuse to just be vitriol. Cough, cough, House of Night, cough, cough.
So sometimes it's wondering, where is the line? Where is the author oblivious, and where was it intentional, and where are they making a conscious effort? And I find that also a very interesting topic.
Next week or next 2 weeks from now.
Down. We'll revisit this.
Yes.
Who's hosting the next stream?
Marta.
Yeah, because at this rate, it basically goes Violet, Marta, Mars, me. Or is it me, Mars?
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
sure we'll
figure it
find
out.
out.
It's on the list.
It's not my job to remember.
Nah.
That has been decided because I did not remember that I was supposed to be today.
That's why the playlist exists, so we can keep it at least semi-constructed order.
I'm telling people to host this Crystal's job.
Yep. Crystal, I don't know why we gave the most chaotic member that job.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
figuring
on
out
y'all.
the schedule and like what time works for everyone, and then remembering that day is the 3 of us job. And then Crystal figures out who's streaming.
I do the math. There we go.
Okay. Yes, I think the average person doesn't differentiate between those two things. And sometimes I don't think that's fair to the author.
Yeah.
But also then sometimes problematic authors get a pass.
Yeah. Where do we go but from, yeah, but this is the thing is what sucks, and then no, it's the person who's evil.
Well, on that note, bye. Thanks, Lexi, and the 5 other people who are supposedly watching us right now.
Woo! We don't do intros or outros this week. Come back next time.
Yeah, bye.
I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to